I've had a few issues going on today. The sun's out, so we have our own things to do. But here we are. We be here. Oh, what's this? Let's read a bit of this chat now. I can't put it on the screen. I set this up as a dual stream on 2 different platforms and whatnot, and I can't get the comments up. So you're gonna have to bear with me, and I've got it going in my ear as well. This is what happens. But we know that we are late all the time, but it will be good. This stream, let me just put it out there, because I have been watching another videos put out, quite an angry videos being put out by the individuals on here, as Paul Thorpe saying, you know, he shouldn't be putting his name in the titles and whatnot. But the only reason I'm doing it is people are inboxing me saying, what's going on? What's happened? Blah, blah, blah. And when I watched the video, and we'll go through it. It's an hour, so it is going to be quite a long one with a stopping, the starting, and whatnot. And I hope that it doesn't get striked. This isn't an attack. This isn't anything. This is just me giving my opinion as someone who have been doing this in the movement for 5 years, maybe a bit longer. I'm not sure. Time flies when we have fun. So it's not even an attack. It's not even this, that, and the other. If you're going to put a video out and you're going to say, this is what's happened, this is why I'm not doing nothing. You know, if I'm going to leave the movement, or if I'm going to leave and do other things, you know, I'm just going to do it. You've seen me put out a video, you know, recently, you know, of supporting or of showing the way forward with UKIP and saying this is the general direction that this channel is going to be going on and this is what we're going to be doing. You just do it. You don't say, I'm going to stop doing this and then I'm going to do something. Do you know, you just do it. The reason when, in my opinion, if you just stop doing what you're doing, and when you stop doing what you're doing, and then you make up a story, and the story doesn't go well, it doesn't answer any questions, more questions come to it. But anyway, let's get straight into it, because, you know, I don't want to keep everyone all night, but I don't also want it to be left on the table. And also the video today that has just been done 40 minutes ago, an hour ago, what is it, an hour and something ago, it's very angry. I don't know who's been saying what, right? And I hope he's not coming from our end of this situation, but I know people are angry. Can everyone see me on here and everyone can hear loud and clear? I hope so. Just put something in the chat if it's not. So I want to big up Dupes, big up Real British Media. Of course, everyone go to their channels and click that subscribe. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Green World Order says, I saw a post on here, Danny, saying that he can't do the live stream because he was stuck in Dover. No. See, this is what happens. You know, this is when I reply to people. I was stuck down there momentarily, but it's all good. They can't keep a good activist down, but more from that will be coming up. So yeah, everyone's saying, oh, is it being postponed? It's not. We're here. We're doing it. We're always late. We know this. Come on, people. Let's just put it down to this, right? If we're saying it's going to be 9:15, it's going to be 9:30. Let's just do it like that. But anyway, this is my opinion on the Paul. And also one more thing, right? One more thing. I've got to do all these caveats beforehand, and I've got to do all these. One more thing, right? I don't generally put people's names in my titles. Now, this other video, we'll probably go through it in the end, is saying about, you know, if you want to make money off of my name, then do it. If you want to do this, listen, I've been doing this for a long time. I get minimal views because I'm unfiltered. I'm the person who comes and says it as it is. And I'm probably going to get incoming from everyone, because certain people like it, certain people won't, certain people get offended, certain people won't, whatever. Yeah? I've been doing this for a long time. I don't need to put people's names in titles, but what I do need people to do, and what I do need people to understand, is if you're going to do a video about what happened and why you're doing something, please be specific. Please say the whole story. Anyway, let's run through this quickly. It's, as I said, it's going to be a long one. Well, it's not going to be that long, but you know, let's see. Chris, what is it? Chris 10. It's not Chris, is it? No, it's Kears. Oh, Kears, it might be. Danny BT has provided another recent video update to hit back at the Paul Thorpe. Yeah, that's the one that was on about. We see, we hear, we see you. Thank you, Mystic Media. I know the account and the videos that got him rolled up. Which ones was it, Mystic? And we can go through it as well because it seems weird. Was it Ray? Oh, what's the old Bang Bang? Was it Bang Bang Ray or whatever? Is it here? Danny Hell Ginger are attacking Paul Thorpe because he has not handed over enough money. Come on, the trolls. Let's get all the trolls in, because the more trolls we get in here, the more engagement it is. The more engagement it is, the more that it gets pushed out, because obviously this is what it's all about. It's not about doing the right thing, is it? Right, let's get to that. Let's get onto this one. I've changed camera now, so I just want everyone to see if you can hear this. If you can hear this, great. At any time, if you can't, let me know, because, yeah, we do have problems with this system.
So Danny, good to be back out in Spain, first of all. Good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while, Paul, isn't it? I've been better, to be honest. I've been very ill for the last...
Can everyone hear this? And again, I want to caveat it. This is an attack on anyone in particular, but it is my opinion. You ask for my opinion, I'll give it to you. Can you all hear that? If you can't, you know what you do in the chat.
Last couple of weeks, but I don't know if you can still hear it in my voice, but I'm slowly coming out of it, I hope. But it's been a rough couple of weeks, I'll be honest.
In more ways than one.
Yeah, well, we'll get onto that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I think that, you know, this video is probably going to get a lot of views, a lot of eyes on. People are going to watch this, and I did a video earlier in the week where I said that my viewers deserve an explanation, and I feel that they do. Not just from me.
Do you know what as well? Right? Dupe is going to do another stream doing her own thing. She does reviews perfectly, right? This is kind of a review from what we're doing, but I have other videos that can back up a lot of things that I will say. I haven't been able to put it out yet or put it all together completely. I've got it, but yeah. So if I say something and you want extra clarification, let me know. I've got a video for it.
But also from you. And as I said to the viewers, it wasn't my place to tell your story or to speak about your business, but that's why we're here today.
Absolutely.
To be completely transparent.
Yeah.
To tell our viewers the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and to put some of the stupid and...
Firstly, that was the first one. I wish I had a little bell. That's the first one, okay? This is Devastating Danny Tells All and Why Life Will Never Be the Same. And you start it out with, I'm going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And throughout this video, it looks like... I wish I had that video. Dupes, have you got the video of... No, don't worry, I'll find it. It looks like it's a very coached video. It's very much as in somebody is leading someone quite heavily, right? This is what it seems like. It also seems like it could be... Now, if you're going to go all conspiratorial like I do all the time, it looks like a denial video. It wasn't me, Gov, type of video. A type of video we've seen before, and I can't remember who did it. I think it was Dutty Monkey. You know, when he was walking down Whitehall with a few people and he's doing his old evening with Danny Tomo, the bricklayer, all these ones putting the old thing there, the cop was doing that. He did a video like this as well, which also gets me up. But let's roll it and let's go. And I've got to keep stopping it a lot because YouTube will cut the stream. They've already told me on some two videos they struck me on. So I will keep doing it to try and get into their policies or whatnot. So,
if I'm honest, quite childish rumours have, you know, emanated and are floating around, particularly on X, which is, if I'm honest, Danny, has become a bit of a cesspit as far as rumours are concerned.
Right.
Let me take you back to, what was it, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah, I mean, look, this story, I think, goes back even further. It depends on where you want to start. I'll let you
yeah, so we'll start at the actual incident that has led to both me and you deciding that, what's the right way of putting it?
Enough's enough.
Well, enough's enough. But someone said the other day on one of the comments I read that you guys are out of your depth here. And you know what, Danny?
Maybe they've got something there.
I think they had a point. I think they had a point. Because
Yeah.
what I want to say before we go any further is that up until 13 months ago, I was a watch YouTuber. Never spoken about politics in my life, certainly not publicly. And I decided that I wanted to talk about another passion of mine. You know, what all of my careers, which you know, Danny, going back over the years, football, boxing, watches, politics, all of my careers have involved a passion. So I thought I'd give the politics a go. But I think that within that 13 months, maybe my voice became a little bit too big, a little bit too loud, and a little bit too important, say, for some of the authorities. Now, let me take you back 2.5 weeks.
This as well. Sorry, just little bits pop up into the thing. I'm going to try and read the chat as well. This thing as well, right? I want everybody to understand that if you're going to be active in politics, if you're going to be an activist, if you're going to start doing things for UKIP, if you're going to start doing things for not so much reform, because they are very much controlled opposition, but if you're going to do something that's going to stir the pot a little bit, you're going to start your own little mini revolutions. You're going to start making sure that people understand that we are being ruled by tyrants. If you're going to be doing that, and you're going to be, doing the best you can with people like Tommy Robinson, I'm afraid it can't just be a hobby, right? I'm going to put it out there. It can't be just a hobby. I've done this for 5 years, right? I've not made nothing out of it. Every single one of my things have gone down. My channels, I don't get things going out because I know I'm hitting the right targets all the time. I know I'm not going to abide by these rules and regulations. I know that. But at the same time, I understand that it's going to affect my personal life. It's going to affect my job. It's going to affect certain other things going in my life. So it can't be like a hobby where I'm doing, Grand Theft Auto role play, as a hobby. People streaming it all the time. You look on Kick. Oh, I forgot to put Kick on it. They do it all the time. But it can't be a hobby. This is what we're doing to save the country. It needs to be your heart and your soul and everything that you've got. And sadly, if people can't do that, then you can't be 100% effective. And these things can happen. And it can involve infighting on the right. It can involve people coming in from the outside and putting seeds of doubt. And this is all that's been happening. People have been putting seeds of doubt. People are saying, I watch Paul Thorpe. I watch Danny. But would I be okay if I went on holiday and come back again? Will they stop me in the airports? Will they do it? And these things are not being addressed properly, which makes and creates fear. It's not fearful to do what you need to do. But obviously, in this climate that we've got a lot of people who don't want us to come out and speak the truth. So it can't be just a hobby. If you came in as just a hobby, then that says a lot.
I was actually laying in bed. You was due to come back to the UK from Spain to visit your dad who's not well, and it was also your daughter's birthday, so you sort of was killing two birds with one stone, as it were.
Yeah.
I'm laying in bed and I got a text message from a mutual friend of ours who was picking you up.
Yeah.
I'll let you take over the story from there, really.
So this was on the 9th of April. I was flying back in, and my daughter's birthday.
Whoa. Ads. What ads? What ads, Roy? Is there playing ads on this? Cheeky fuckers.
It was just after that. I was visiting my father, who's very ill at the moment. And we might as well throw it out there as well. I was due to go and visit our friend in prison.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a record of that visit, because that all has to be pre-arranged through Tommy's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Everything has to be, or wife, whatever it be. Everything has to be above board. And it...
Ding, 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 ding. Right, that's the first one I'm going to address right this second, because that's a shit move, right? That's a shit move. And if you know Tommy, you came in, you don't know it. You're saying his ex-wife, hang on a minute, his wife, or whatever it is. we all know the turmoil that he has gone through, knowing and understanding. And I don't think it's speaking out of turn. I'm going to speak it anyway, right? The turmoil that he went through during the period of time. Now, when he came back from Spain and he was in London, and I can't remember what happened. I think it was a big moment. He came back, and then he started talking about his family and whatnot. And I knew then something happened. Right? I knew something then. This is something that's very terrible in his life, that he wouldn't say, oh, most people when they have a divorce, they're like, oh, do you know what? Go. No, he's understood that the life that he's led has brought him to this situation, and he wishes that he could do something different. But there's only so much that people can take. Love's out the window. It's only so much people can take. So for that thing of saying, well, it's the ex-wife, or it may be, no, we all know it's the ex-wife, mate. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a shit move, considering as well how much the left really, really, really like to say, oh, do you know what? This newspaper article's come up, and do you know what? They're all connected, and no, that's a bad move, and that's the first move that made me think, hang on a minute, what's that about? Because I watch things and I watch it for what it is. I see things for what they are. Maybe I should have a bit more, I don't know. It's just one of those things. So when you say something to me, I'll take it as it is, as the words say. You might not mean them, but I'll take it that way. So when I hear things like this, I'm like, yeah, it's a shit move.
It all has to be pre-arranged. You have to submit your details. You have to have your,
They know who's coming.
Yeah, they knew I was coming. Let's leave it at that. I get to Gatwick Airport about 10:30 at night, and
So you're quite tired, long day, journey.
yeah, I had a pretty couple of night of rough sleep beforehand as well, which didn't help. I was trying to fall asleep on the plane, but then you get chatting to the person sitting next to you. And you
Cheeky chops evening.
Anyway, I get to Gatwick Airport, do the 15-mile walk from the plane to where you go through passport control.
Was this the North or the South terminal? Do you know?
I don't
Probably
remember.
the North terminal.
I'm guessing it was the North.
Yeah, I think it would be the North terminal.
Quite possibly.
EasyJet?
Yeah, it was EasyJet.
North terminal.
Yeah, North terminal.
Sorry, another ding, 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 ding. And if you watch Deception Detective, you know that too much information is not the... Let's not say it's a lie, because it might be the truth. But we know if we watch things like Deception Detective, right? Very good channel. But too much information does seem to be a bit scripting. And it's a lot that goes on. Who cares if you went to North or South Terminal? I don't care. You came into the UK, and it doesn't make a difference of what happened. The ordeal that went on, it doesn't make a difference, in my opinion. And remember, this is my opinion, and I'm not. If people are going to take it as an attack or take it as they like, I don't care, because at the end of the day, I think the video was very badly done, and it opens more seeds than it gives out. To be fair, and people who know me offline as well, yeah, they know my position.
So I go through the scanner, put my passport in, try again, put my passport in, seek assistance. So I spoke to a lady, she said, oh, you just need to go and queue up with the other people and go through the passport control. So I went through passport control, gave the passport to the lady. She said, oh, there seems to be some sort of crease on your passport. She said, I think that's why it's not going through. Can you give me a second? But I can't leave you standing here. You just have to come over with me to this little hold area, which I think...
The famous pen.
Well, I call it the pool pen, funny enough.
I've had 3 visits in there.
Yeah, so basically...
Turtle Dove. Paul Thorpe sold his house in March. It's also planned. That's another video that will be coming out, if somebody wants to question me or whatever. But remember, there was a tweet that said about the house what's that program? The House in the Sun. He got done over 10, 15 grand from someone that thought they were from the House in the Sun, and they were going to buy a house up in Spain. Yeah, it seems that way. But he did say he was never going to leave the UK. He was going to fight for the people. He's going to fight for the people.
See, it's just a little glass cube in Gatwick Airport. You've not gone through passport control, so I guess you haven't entered the UK at that stage.
Yeah, it's a holding pen, yeah.
Yeah, holding pen. I mean, it's still on view of everyone that's going by. It's a bit embarrassing, to be fair, but it is what it is. And as soon as I got in there, I held the phone up and to send you a WhatsApp saying, I'm in the pool pen, thinking it was, I'm just going to get there you go, mate, off you go type of thing.
Yeah.
I'd messaged our friend, the driver, who was kindly waiting for me. And I said, look, I might get detained here because I remember the last 3 times you've come back from Spain to the UK. You've been in there 40 minutes, 30 minutes, and so.
Yeah, not too long. To be fair, not as long as that, but 20 minutes.
20 minutes or so.
I suppose,
well, he's expecting me to come out. I didn't have no luggage.
Yeah.
You know, I only had me hand luggage because I was only there for a few days, and I've got a couple of bits and bobs, and my dad's anyway. So anyway, I've sort of tried to sort of dot his card. Really, I might get sort of held up here type of thing.
15-minute
yeah,
delay
that sort
or
of
whatever.
thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and as I held that up to record that to you, 3 undercover guys come in, said, "Hello there, we're from the counter-terrorism police." I went, right. And I was actually at that time thinking, this got to be a wind-up. Jeremy Beadle's got to come out in a minute. You know, this can't. All right, Paul, you've got your point. Where are you?
So they introduced themselves as the counter-terrorism unit. Or
yeah, counter-terrorist police. Yeah.
And there was 3 of them. Yeah.
There was 3 of them. Yeah. They said, we need to take the phones off of you. And I said, whoa, hold on a minute. Am I under arrest here? They went, no, you're not under arrest, but at the moment you're being detained. This was 10:30, 11 at night. So I went, okay. They said, look, to make it... Let me just
stop you there for a second, Danny. At that point,
Mm.
when you had the counter-terrorism unit in front of you...
Yeah.
Now, this is when people ask me questions. Let's just go to the chat first. We've got Frozen, the ball, whatever it is. I don't even know what the name is, saying it's the way people talk. They get nervous. They talk. Yeah, it probably is. But to me, it still makes me think. Then he says, oh, this is hearsay. I'm just addressing hearsay and whatnot. Well, actually, what I'm doing is I'm addressing the things that people say. We're going to watch the full one anyway because I didn't cut it down. I don't think it's right to cut down things and put it out of context. So this one, it's a review of the video, and I'm going to give my opinion on it because that's what we have to do, and that's what I'm doing. So anyone that doesn't want to hearsay or doesn't want any of this, that's fine. But this point here, right, he's come back. Now, you got to remember as well, I'm not going to put it past the people or anything like that, yeah? But Danny's just got his YouTube up. He's just started doing the things. He's been on Paul's channel for many, 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 many years, right? And then all of a sudden this is happening. So for normal people, for everyday people who are watching the channel, they're going to be wondering, would counter-terrorism come to them? Now, it's maybe it's the way to get people to stop talking. Maybe it's a lot of things. But for counter-terrorism to come, put you in the pen, yeah, your passport's creased, or we want to torture you, or we want to let you know that we're watching you, or whatever. They go through all of this. That's one thing. It wouldn't be counter-terrorism with Border Force. Border Force would put you in the pen because you can't leave. You have to be there. They sort it out. You go through the back doors. Then obviously the police will come through and whatever. So that's what he's saying. He's been in the pen. The police have now come. Cool. Now you're detained. This is a Towsall situation, but we don't see any bail sheet. We don't see anything like that. Even when Tommy was done down at Folkestone, he said this is what happened. He said Schedule 7 is the bail sheet. Puts it out there. Can't have a video out of context. Pull it out there. That's it. And then that bit of the situation goes. It's very, very easy to sort this story out.
When you realised that it wasn't me and a few of the lads having a wind-up and, this was serious, what was your initial thought?
Pinch yourself.
What's going through your mind at
Pinch
this
yourself
stage?
at the moment, right?
Because you told me earlier that you did physically pinch yourself.
I did actually, when I was actually further down the incident that went on. I actually thought at one stage, surely this can't be right. At the time, I had a YouTube channel, a small thing that I'd just set up, as you know. That hadn't even sort of started, so I thought it's nothing to do with any of that. So I just thought it's got to be, because I then put 2 and 2 together. You keep getting put in the pen for 15, 20 minutes, and I'm thinking, I'm sure Paul hasn't ever been sort of spoken to by the police.
Terrorism,
which is a serious word.
Evening Vindicator. Great videos you're doing recently.
For someone that's never had a speeding fine, a speeding ticket, or going for a red light, or arrested, put in the back of a van, questioned, never been asked anything. I mean, never nicked a penny sweet in my life, you know?
Listen, this is a good point. Chris 10, don't forget they're treating Tommy under the terrorism and Danny was due to visit him in prison. That is a really good point, and it can be. But to me, it seems it's a massive overreach. It's a huge overreach. And there's something that later on that will come to in regards to the relaxedness, whatever, we'll go to it. It is 100%. I'm not saying, right, this didn't happen. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying when you do a story, when you put it all out there, put it all out there. Because it seems to me, the other video, now this attacking video that's just dropped, it seems it doesn't sit right with me. If you're going to leave, then leave. You're saying that nobody cares about... No, I wouldn't even be talking about this if this video wasn't there, right? And that's the be or end all of it. I wouldn't be talking the same way as I don't talk when he was with us, right? When he was doing things. I don't talk to the fella, right? This video comes out without hardly any proof. I'm going to talk... It just seems weird. All these adverts... What are the... Let me see if it turned on from here, but I don't... Let's have a look.
For someone that's got a completely clean slate, to actually have an absolutely nothing sort of chat with a police officer, to possibly, I think, one of the worst words you could use, certainly on someone, certainly on someone of my, you know, I've led a clean life. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I've been involved in all sorts of boxing and bits and bobs, but never had any problems with anyone, and certainly not broken the law.
You're a straight player, as they say.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, like I say, you know, I've met a lot of characters, been in the pub trade.
We've all met characters.
You know, I've got quite a few of these sort of characters as friends, but friends, not associate friends, if that makes sense. Moving along, they said to me straight away, right, it's a bit embarrassing for us to chat with you here. Do you want to just come with us to another part of the airport? So at that time, I'd had to hand over my phones, and they said, we need your pins straight away. You're being detained under the Terrorism Act 2000. So I said, well, with total...
There we go. Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act 2000. But there you go. This is the point. This is what I'm saying to people, right? And I don't know what these adverts are coming in. I can't. I'm on. If anyone knows how to turn it all off and everything, it's his Streamlabs that I'm running it from. So I don't actually. I have no idea. I had a bit of trouble anyway. But anyway, just skip them and try and move on from the ads. But what I'm trying to say is this: Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act is serious. Danny's just a normal bloke doing his normal things, just coming back, and he got that level, right? Okay, then fine. That's the story we're going to go with it, right? But it's a bits and bobs story. I want to know what you was talking about then. Do you know what I mean? Because all I know at the moment in time is Tommy is under a terrorism thing. You're now on bail for terrorism, right? Tommy spoke about what they said. What about the great replacement theory? We want to look into your phone. We want to know your ideas of how you're going to unite the kingdom. I want to know X, Y, and Z. Tommy's already come out and said all this because he's open with what happened. This one is openly saying nothing. To me, I don't know. It's just very strange. It's literally very strange. Yes, we've seen the overreach with Starmer, but what would they have to gain? What have people got to gain? Right? And the video today, or we'll go to that later. Let's just roll this. What have they got to gain from getting Danny, from getting Tommy, Voice of Wales, Ezra? Who else was there? I think Danny was there as well. When they all come back from Spain. Not one of them got stopped. And that's a gang of people, a gang of patriots, right? Coming across as one. I just don't believe it. Sorry. Take it as you want. Cancel me today. I'm a man that will stand on what I say, and I smell something here.
All respect, not ever being in a situation like this, and I'm not trying to cause trouble. I said, I need to speak to a legal representative at this stage before I give over my pin.
Yeah, very wise.
Here's a leaflet they gave me. They went, there's a leaflet, have a little look at your rights, and this is where we're holding you and stuff. Can I just, at this moment, say the officers that detained me were, if you ever get arrested, they're the people you want to arrest you. I'm very pro-police, and they were nothing but polite, professional, respectful. I had a supervisor during the course of what comes up, popping in every 45 minutes to check my welfare, that if I needed anything to eat, anything to drink, blah, blah, blah.
Would you be happy? I'd be fucking seething. I'd be seething. I've been in Dover today, right? All's good. If I'm getting stopped at any port, I'm going to be seething. But it's all very, very friendly with the police. Let's just make sure no, man. If they've abused you, abused your rights, you've got every single right to come up. Maybe that's not you. Maybe from the beginning what they said, it is out of their depth and they're not as hyped as some of us are. Who knows?
But we'll come to that later. But I just wanted to put that out early, that the officers, and I have got their names, but it's not fair for me to name them. No. They were very respectful. Yeah. And to be fair, anyone I've dealt with since then has been very respectful.
Yeah. So let's get it clear. You're not shooting the messenger, as it were.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We'll come to the rest of it in a little while. But yeah, so I got in, I had to go through the back part of the airport with these officers. They were in plain clothes, but they had obviously all the ID and bits and bobs. And we went into a little Mercedes Vito van, unmarked, drove to another little part of the airport, where there's a little room, a little area. You can't call it a prison, but you're being detained. It's a bit like, I would say, the sort of reception of a police station, if you like. So we go into a little room.
You're not handcuffed or anything?
No, I wasn't arrested.
Yeah.
I was detained.
Yeah.
Now, there's a big difference with this, which obviously I've learned since.
You're certainly not, at this stage, you're not free to go. If you're detained.
The only thing...
There's a lot of coaching going on that's going to be doing it now. There's a lot of opinions that are going on now. Maybe it was special branch. It wasn't counter-terrorism. You know, he got detained and not arrested. It wasn't arrested because of Danny. It was arrested because of Paul. Maybe some people have had a nod. But this is one of the things that I wanted to come to. Maybe one of the people have got a nod, right? We all know it can happen. You can get taken and they can give you a few ultimatums, right? But one thing is this. They allowed us to do what we're doing, right? They allowed it to happen. They allowed me to go with the Black White Unite. Because you got to remember, right? Prior to the reinvigorating Black White Unite from back, 2013, 14, way back when I reinvigorated it, come on, let's all get together. Let's get a union of people. Let's not be divided on colour. Let's be divided on culture. Do you know what I mean? Yes, we need to make sure that there is a divide between Christianity because it's getting marred at the moment. We've got Islam coming into the churches, but you got you can't have the churches going to the mosques. This is what we're having. We've been doing that. It's been successful. We've been allowed all along. So at no point in time has anyone been nobbled. Then all of a sudden, this has been nobbled. He mentions that he's a watch dealer, right? He's had 14, 15 years as a watch dealer. Look at that. Just look at it, right? People can get nobbled. People can get taken and saying, maybe this needs to happen or whatever. It does happen in every single industry, right? But throughout the time I've been there, no one from special branch, no one from counter-terrorism, no one from nothing. And do you know what? Most of these people, when I walk up into Speaker's Corner, when I go onto the protests, when I go on everywhere, every one of those coppers are watching. Every one of them. I'm at the tube station down the road bit. I've got an undercover coming up to me. All right, Danny, lad? Make sure you're safe. Do you know what I mean? From the COVID all the way down to now, there's no one I know that's been nobbled. And all of a sudden, out of a nothing, right? Even they will say that, they're not part of Tommy's team. They don't do things. They do things obviously with us. It's an extended team, but there's nothing that the counter-terrorism or special branch could get from them. So that's what makes me think. So why then? Why is this overreach? And if it is an overreach, people then must be worried about when they're going on holiday. this is one of the things. If you go on holiday, you'll probably be fine to come back. It's not everybody gonna get taken in by border force. And coming up to summer holidays, a lot of people were saying to me, they are going into the inbox saying, well, what's the chances of it happening to me? I don't think there's any chance, people. I don't think there's any chance, right? But we'll do a test run. We'll do a few test runs. I fancy going out to Spain. Wait till I get a bit of money, and then we'll go on that. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, and it's more than a nothing. All right, let's go for some of these comments quickly. Whitehall 24th, Danny Tom. Yeah, that was a whole different situation. But all right, cool. Let's go there, right? So that's a novel situation. Now that's a situation where from the start people said to break the injunctions. Then we've got that guy making the hand signal to thingy at the same time, roughly the same time frame as these people have come on. And you know what? Today, the people that have come on board in the last 13 months in quick succession, not one of them are here. This movement is very special to me, right? It seems strange. People will be like, Danny, bro, you get nothing out of it apart from trying to save the country. But that's special. The people in it are special. Everyone that I regularly interact with, you know, I might not have ever seen you, but if you ever said I'm in the area, we'd be going for a drink. It's very special. So I do get aggravated as well when things happen and they shouldn't, right? And this is one of them, because it's created a whole and people are like, Danny, you're helping to destabilize it. Well, I hope that my review on this today is going to answer all your questions, because I probably had more questions than any one of you, and we're trying to work through it. So let's roll this.
The only thing I couldn't walk off. Yeah. The only thing I could say that possibly I could have done is probably turned around and gone straight back to Spain, because I hadn't entered British soil until you go past border control, as I understand it. But this is all after they've got my phones, right?
But why would you need to do that, Danny? You wouldn't.
Absolutely not. But when you're met with that completely, it's like being you turning round the corner and somebody hitting you in the head with a sledgehammer. It's just unexpected. You're not ready for it. So we go to this little area and we go into this little interview room, tape recorder. I said, what's the recording for? I said, am I under caution? They went, no, it's just so we can record what we're talking about, which I don't know whether that's right or wrong.
Yeah,
but anyway,
right, yeah.
I'm sure, listen, I'm pretty sure no one did anything wrong, right, as far as the law is concerned.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was saying I can't really go any further with any of this until I've spoken to someone. And this was quite late at night, so getting hold of a solicitor.
How long did that take?
It was difficult to say because I wasn't really looking at the time. I would say it was a good hour and a half. That's how it felt. So we're just sitting there making idle chit-chat, to be fair, for a little while. Let's fast forward a little bit. I don't know how long this would have been. Let's say it's an hour and a half of just sort of sitting about. I had a couple of glasses of water. They asked me if I wanted anything to eat. I didn't. The last thing you want when you're in that situation is to have something to eat. Yeah. Puts you right off your dinner. And then I'm just fast forwarding this quite a bit. Spoke to a solicitor on the phone. After about an hour and a half, they said, pretty much, you've got to cooperate. It's as simple as that. You haven't got a choice here. You don't. Let me just run over this act with you, because obviously now I'm a little bit more up with what it means. You have to give over your phones. If you don't, you're immediately charged. You have to give over your PIN numbers. If you don't, you're immediately charged. I was searched, so they took my baggage from me. I only had hand luggage, but things like your passport and things like that, that's all gone. That just goes. The phones, you have to give them the PIN, which they check with you there, and then you have to take off any Face ID. You have to give them any cloud information. I mean, I'll never back my phones up. I'll be honest with you. I'm too tight to pay £2.50 a month to back up your phones. So I find it a waste of money. So anyway, you have to give them all that. You also don't have the right to remain silent. So like you would if you was arrested normally, you don't have the right to remain silent. So you have to answer their questions, which, okay, right, it is what it is. Nothing to hide, but you don't have to be arrested for any type of suspicion. They can just pull anyone. So that could be, a 15-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, maybe, I don't know, or a grandfather. They can pull you for no reason whatsoever. It doesn't matter. This act just is a blanket, anyone.
There's another bit of fear. Mum grinning at people. Like I said earlier, was saying to me, will I get detained at the airport if I went on holiday? I've paid a few bits of super chats. I've paid a bit of money here. I've given money to Urban Scoop. I've given X, Y, and Z. My people as well who have got a presence, but they're like me, not wild, not even on Paul Thorpe scale, just normal everyday folk who we all can interact with, saying the same thing. So again, probably not. We ain't probably got nothing to worry about, because it seems like overreach. Now, the thing is that, there's been a bit going on in the chat, but we've got Green World Order saying the thing that doesn't make sense is detaining Danny under the Terrorism Act and not Paul, if they really want to send a message to anyone involved with Tommy. But in Paul's in Spain, it might have been, but he's not coming back. Not any time soon. So maybe there's something on their side that they don't want to come back with. But it ain't got nothing to do with the movement or, what's going on, which is what this is being marred with. People are saying, hang on a minute, what about that? We've got shit cunts who are lying left, right and centre. We've got people that should be remigrated lying upon lies upon lies. It's crazy. Then we got this coming out that it's not, by the end of this, we're not even going to know what happened. This is how much of a nothing this was. But things like this statement that you just said there, 15-year-old kids can get taken, elderly people can. Yes, anyone at an airport technically can get taken, or at a port, or any port of entry or exit. You can get done for the Terrorism Act. It's a huge overreach. It shouldn't be there. It should only be there for people who are not British. It should be a different thing for British people. But, who knows? It might change one day. But they can't just use it they can't use it without nothing. They can't just grab you and say, I want to look in your phone. They might think they can, but you're going to have papers. So then papers will show an overreach. But apparently even now he's not got his mobile phones. So what are they looking at? Why is that connected to us? It shouldn't be connected to us. Many times he's saying, and maybe this whole thing was a thing to say, it's nothing for us. But you have to say them words. You have to say it. Otherwise, it just looks like this is something to do with Tommy Robinson. At not one point in this thing, I can remember, as he said, whatever's happened, I don't believe is to do with Tommy Robinson. I don't believe it's to do with the movement. I don't believe it's to do with all this, because this will harm the people who are just getting excited about taking back this country. And I don't want to give it to those socialists. I don't care. I don't want to do it. And I know these people ain't right wing. Right? They're not even the centre-right people. They are the centrists, the liberals, the ones who have created this problem. And you can see why. Because there's no fight in people to say, yes, we're going to do it. I think we should go to this thing. Let's just go this a little bit. And then I'm going to do the video today. Because the video today, I think it gives more... It doesn't answer my questions, but it proves my points more. So we'll go through this a little bit. But I think that one's going to be much more... easier to see the situation.
So after I'd been searched, my phones were taken. I'd spoken to the solicitor.
DNA taken, pictures?
Well, I gave them the pin to my phones. While we was waiting for the solicitor, they said to me, look, you are going to have this done. And if you don't have to have it done now, you get arrested and then taken to a station and it's forced on you anyway. So I had to go to another room in this area. I had to have my fingerprints taken. And it was very palms, side of your hands, tips, fingerprints, each finger, hands, everything. I had a bit of a problem because I've got an injury from boxing, so I struggled with turning my wrist. That's where my problem is at the moment. I can't turn my wrist.
No vindicator, he doesn't. I think it's a little bit later on that he says, I'm not going to answer. He's been told to say that he's not going to answer any question. He's not going to tell us what was asked. Even though Tommy did, he's not going to.
The officer that done the fingerprinting was amazing. He sort of helped me go down while I was trying to twist. So my body was twisted, not my wrist. Yeah. But again, the officer that took all of the bits and bobs. So that was the first thing. I then had to have swabs done inside my mouth. They were put into little tubes. And then I had to have, I think it's 16 or 18 photographs taken. Now, as I understand it, if you're arrested normally, You have a front, side, and that's it, you know, in front of the height thing. So I'm standing in front of the height thing, but they sit you down. Excuse me, my nose is really running. They sit you down and you're taken here, you know, everywhere. So now bear in mind, for someone that feels they've done nothing wrong, you're stopped from entering the country that you were born in, that you've got a passport for. You are searched, your personal possessions are taken, like your hand luggage is taken, your phones are taken, your PIN is demanded, and you cannot not answer their questions. On top of that, you've got your fingerprints, DNA swabs, and photographed. And then we had to answer, well, we had to talk.
And this as well, right? I'm going to lay it out here. We all know, we've all seen the TV programs, we've all, you know, at some stage have had interactions with the police. Some of us have been arrested, some of us have been in prison, some of us have just been questioned, right? But we all kind of know the situation. And for me, when I listened to this, when I saw this for the first time, it seemed like it was fear was ramping up. It was trying to me, as I said at the start, to me, it seems like it's a bit of fear porn going on here to stop people who are ordinary to not push out the message, because it's all good for all of us, every single one of us. We've got on here, we've got Vindicator, we've got One Gen Media, we've got Dupes, we've got, you know, still I see, we've got a few other people, we've got Roy on here. Everyone is able to put out that message a little bit more, right? But it's the normal people first who push it out to the masses. It's the nan, it's the granddad, it's the guy who no one knows on the corner, but he's online all day and he's sharing the hell out of patriotic things. These are the people that they want to try and stop and put fear into. So that seems legitimate to say they're putting fear into it. But again, I don't know, it's the whole thing. It doesn't make sense.
Until the interview is over, basically. They can detain you for up to 6 hours with no further need for anything else. With total respect to the police, a lot of the delay was the solicitor, so that wasn't their fault.
Yeah. How long was you detained for?
I think I left there, I can't remember the exact time. Our friend, he won't mind, Mark, the driver, he would probably have a better idea than me. I would say I probably left the airport at about 3:15 in the morning.
Right.
So it was quite some time.
Going on to questions, Danny, I think from a legal viewpoint, it might be pertinent not to mention the precise questions, but what we will say is, and what we can say is, they didn't ask you about anyone or any person in particular.
No, that would be fair to say. It was basically put to me, look, you know, it's flagged up. You're sitting here in this room charged with the T offence. Or not charged, sorry, that's the wrong thing to say. You're being detained and asked. Yeah. We're talking about the T Act. Yeah. Why do you think you're sitting here? That's pretty much, they put that question to you, and it's down to you to sort of say, answer it, there's obviously a reason. Yeah. Now, obviously, you have been back to the UK a few times from Spain, obviously coming out here, visiting your daughter, and you got put in the pen. So I'm thinking, that's the only link. Yeah. I mean, that could be the only link. The only other link would be that I was going to see Tommy in prison on that visit. Yeah. Now, I think we might as well, while we're on that subject, quickly touch on Tommy. There's been a lot of comments on my channel, your channel, and there's an awful lot of speculation on other YouTube channels as well about what's gone on. With Tommy, right, I think people think that I go out on, well, before he was in prison, we go out on Friday night, we phone each other up, you know, we meet up for meals and bits and bobs like that. I've met Tommy in my life twice, personally, where I've spoken to him directly. The first time was back in March last year. So we're talking just over a year ago, so 12, 14 months ago. Yeah. When I had to fly back from my ex-wife, who was taken very ill and sadly passed away that week in hospital. I had to get back very quickly, so it was a last-minute thing. I was sitting at Alicante Airport on the aeroplane with Ryanair, or I can't remember, or EasyJet, I can't remember. And a guy walks along I'm sort of about 6 rows back. Guy walks along the corridor, I'm thinking, I recognise you. I thought, oh my God, it's Tommy. And I just stood up and sort of said, hello, mate, and just shook his hand. He said, hello, mate, how are you? And that was it. And he sat back one to the left. So I had a little chat with him, you know, as I would with Mike Tyson or blooming Phil Mitchell. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, the Mitchell brothers off of EastEnders. You would talk to them if there's any, you know, conversation, signs. And I remember at the time, I texted you, because obviously we'd started talking about politics at a similar time. I said, you're never going to guess who I'm sitting next to. I said sitting next to. I wasn't, you know, he was there. And you went, go on. I went, Tommy. You went, oh my God. Because you hadn't met him at the time either.
No, I hadn't, no.
Yeah. So and I just found it quite funny that we just started talking to politics, and of all the flights, of all the airports, and of all the seats, he could have got on the back and I'd never have met him.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we get to the other end and we walk him through passport control together. And that was it. We had a chat while we was in the queue. He said he was interested in watches, and I said, oh, I was on Paul Thorpe's channel. He hadn't heard of you at the time. I remember him saying that.
Yeah.
So that was March 2024. So as far as, we've all been friends for 50 years and all that, well, a load of old tosh, right? The only other time I met him was in October, when quite a few of the YouTubers were all going to fly back from Alicante to
myself included,
but you and Richard.
I was unwell.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you and Richard were going to join because you were sitting on the seats, and I remember on that flight there was a couple.
That was another day. That was another day that really went ding, 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 ding for me. You remember, they were all supposed to go to Tommy, have the interviews with Tommy before he comes and does this sentence that he's going to do. Didn't know how much they were going to give him. They're probably going to give him more now. Not now because of this, but more now because they want silence to be taken down. So it's one of those things. And then at the airport, you're very ill and you take out 2 people. When that happened, it was weird. But, it is what it is.
A couple of people were coming along with kids. I said, you can sit.
So Vindicator says on there, when you've been charged or you've been arrested under that act, they have to tell you why they have arrested you, why they've detained you. I would have thought that, Mystic Media says the right to know the purpose. They must be informed of the purpose of detention, which is to facilitate the examination for terrorism related. That's just mad though. When you start talking like that, this is absolutely crazy just for YouTube. A Vindicator, if he's detained and not arrested, they cannot question him. I think under the Terrorism Act, you have to answer anything that's been put. I think your right to silence has been removed because the whole point of it was supposed to be, and this is another Tony Blair Act, the Snoopers Charter. Remember when there's all these sort of things come in and people were like, well, I've got no problem with it because I don't break the law. And it was kind of like the counter argument was, you don't need to break the law. This is showing that potentially you don't need to break the law for them to do that. But it's a huge overreach, and I would be wanting to seek justice for myself, especially after he said he took it out of him. He's been ill, he was in hospital, it's all sorts. You'd want the police to pay for that, surely.
Sit there if you want. I said, because I know the people are not going to be coming. He's ill. So they sat there. Anyway, there was a few other people. Ezra was there, the Voice of Wales was there, the German lady, Vicky, was there, all on the same flight. And there was a few other people, media people. And that was the reason we all went, because I already had a flight booked for that, because we was coming back for the march in London. Yeah. And I already had a flight booked, and then you said to me, oh, we're all travelling back together. How much was your flight? I went, it weren't a lot. It's, why don't you rebook it and we'll travel back together? Yeah. The only reason I'm on that flight was because of that. And obviously, I had a driver at the other end. I was talking to Tommy, and I said, "Look, at the other end, our friend's waiting for us. Do you want a lift anywhere?" He went, "Yeah, I haven't got anything arranged at all." He said, "Otherwise, I've got a taxi." I said, "Look, he's going to be there. He won't mind dropping you off." The only other time I've met him, so that's 2 times. Both of them was on an aeroplane, weirdly enough. So I just want to put that rumour to bed that,
Yeah, because you was described by someone the other day as one of Tommy's chief lieutenants.
For God's sake!
I mean, to be fair, that would be, in many ways, that would be a compliment. But it's pushing.
Now that does happen. Jupiter is second in command as well. So all this does happen, but people do put 2 and 2 together and make 105. They do that, But there are videos out there that would make people suggest that you're not just 2 people doing your thing. And this all comes back. It all comes back to the same things. Oh, let's just roll this, man.
In it a little bit, to be fair,
mate. It's a bit Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, isn't it? At the end of the day, look, I've met the guy twice in my life. When I went back with him, I had his number. I think I had his number. I think we swapped numbers originally when I met him in March, because I had a good chat with him about watches and stuff. But that's as far. Even when I've been on the one March, which was in July, I never even spoke to him on that day. I was at the security pass with all the other guys that was there. So I was sort of round the back, but I never met him or spoke to him. I didn't get on the stage.
In between this, I've got to meet Tommy, and I've met him a few times, and got to know him perhaps a little bit better.
Yeah.
See, Paul Thorpe knows him better, right? This is the talk, right? People do it all the time. Oh, I've seen Tommy. Oh, I know him better. This is what makes people put you in a certain position, even if you're not there. It puts you in a certain position. So how do you know him better than Thingy? So if we want to do some, let's put people in the same box. We can do it with that. It's language, and it's more one-upmanship. It seems to be one-upmanship for some reason. This is where it gets weird anyway.
Yeah, so that just so that people know the timeline.
Yeah.
So, there's people have been saying, "Oh, have you fell out with Tommy? Have you
dumped
back
Tommy?
Him? Have you dumped him? Has he dumped you?" The answer to that is that is a totally irrelevant question. The answer is no. And the reason that Danny and I have been sort of pulling away is because of the issue that we're now talking about. In fact, I had a message directly from Tommy the day before yesterday, saying that he totally understands my position and that,
yes, exactly.
Thanks for your help in the past, and no hard feelings, as it were. But going back to the main topic, so your question for 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever it is.
Probably question for 2.5 hours, probably,
Okay.
to be fair. 2 to 2.5 hours. Well, probably not even that, to be fair, because the time you do all the swabs, the fingerprints and the photographs, there's probably an hour there. The time I was waiting for the solicitor, there's a bit of time there.
Yeah.
So maybe an hour and a half of sitting down with the officer.
Chris 10 says, I get that people will feel disappointed and that they are stepping back, but we don't know what has gone on behind the scenes. Nothing's gone on behind the scenes. There's been no fallout. There's been no public outcry. There's been nothing apart from, right, hope not hate affiliated people, as in we all know the clown world and its crew, attaching himself to the same old smelly people, right? And if you know, before you can go to the baby beta videos in my thing, I think it's still there. If nobody knows about the whole situation that went on for a couple of years from Hope Not Hate affiliates, these people have been saying stuff about Peter Lynch and Tommy did this and Tommy did that and blah, 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 blah. These people are not coming out, friends or people with the reach that I can get to defend him. Now they're pulling back. So people are doing this 3D, 4D chess or whatever and saying this all must be connected. This all must be linked. What was coming out the story of saying, why are we leaving? Who cares? Leave. As I said, I wouldn't be doing this video if it wasn't the videos pulling up more questions, and I'm getting the same questions from people. And I do feel it's a duty. I've been with a lot of you people all the way through. You've been with me. I've told you the truth. We've seen the truth together, right? And that's Black Lives Matter, the anti-white agenda and where we are today. We've had that journey. So my thing is saying, well, is there something going on behind the scenes? There's nothing that I've seen behind the scenes. I'm in whatever groups. Nothing's kicked off in the groups. Nothing's kicked off anywhere else. We don't care what these Hope Not Hate people are talking about, donations and bucket. It's all tactics to do things like this, maybe. Maybe the whole thing did happen. But if he did get spoken about anything about Tommy, which he said he wasn't, then he needs to come out and say, well, really, this is what the situation is, or this is why, he says he doesn't want to be going, he wants to go about his normal everyday business. He wants to come back from Spain and then that's fine. Everyone wants to do that. We all want to travel freely. That's what we want, but say that. And don't try and, I don't know, is it me? A lot of people are in the chat and that, maybe it's the way I've looked at it, right? But I think it's doing a disservice on the movement, on Unite the Kingdom, on everything that we're trying to do now. I think the whole video, it doesn't achieve what it was meant to achieve. And as I said, it brings out more questions. So they're not here to answer any questions, but to their subscribers, if you've been in the memberships, if you've been in here or done this and the other, ask, you know, I would, why not? What was it really about? Where's the bail sheet? Just show the bail sheet. Why was you there for 3 hours? Were they asking questions about who is watching of the new channel? I noticed you did the channel and you did another video because I was trying to research what is this fella's actually done. And he's done one video about his supercars, decent cars. He's getting kickback from people by saying he's done another video saying, well, hang on a minute, I'm not bragging or nothing. So something's gone on there, but that's nothing to do with us. If he's got supercars and he's coming into the UK and the old Bill want to see what he's doing, that's nothing to do with the movement. That's nothing to do with nationalism. That's nothing to do with what we're trying to do to save this country. You're in the socialist area of Spain. That's nothing to do with us either. So if do you know what I mean? It mars too many things together without anyone really understanding what the hell went on. And when people don't understand what goes on, things like this happen. And what's his name? Green World Order is a whole lot of hearsay. It is, but we're trying to calm the situation down because it wasn't just him. It's a few people suddenly are turning at the same time as this attack from the left, at the same time as when, you know, they're trying to keep him, Tommy in prison for longer, at the same time that the judiciary is against the people. This is the time we need to stand up together as one and say, do you know what? We're not going to bow down to it. But maybe you can nobble some people, or maybe they're the nobblers.
Officers. And again, can I please say they were very respectful and I've got no issues. I've always been pro-police, always. In fact, when I left school, I wanted to be a police officer.
I have a love-hate relationship with them. You know, I support the police. I just wish they would do their job. Yeah. How can I put it? In some instances, do it better, and also understand that we're actually on their side. Yeah. You know, we're the ones that want to keep the peace. Yeah. We're the ones that want a country that's great to live in, safe to live in, and peaceful to live in. Yeah. We actually support those guys. Yeah. As many of the people that are in my phone right now are current serving or former police officers. Yeah.
Roy, he's hit the nail on the head. They've been dodged and skeletons have been revealed, and these choices have been made, in my opinion, from the video today. The video, we'll just leave it, but the video today seems like something has really... I saw a different Paul there, swearing and all this, you know, all the way. So maybe it is, maybe they're protecting themselves, and, you know, people will say, you know, you've got to protect your family. Listen, I'm a family man. The decisions I make today, right, it directly affects her. She's only young, but I know I need to make sure in her future, in the next 10 years, in the next decade, that we haven't got these dickheads who think that they're cats and dogs and no gender fluid and whatnot, or not the people that are in the Houses of Parliament. I need to make sure that doesn't happen because her life needs to be there. I need to make sure that she's not going to be under Sharia law in the next 25 years, the years where I won't be able to do anything because I'll be too old. Right? So I understand family just come first. And I also understand that you can fly out the country and come back in and you're very, very rich. And we'll go to that in a little while. I understand this is just a hobby for yous, but it's not for everyone. People here look at you, Paul, as an inspiration. You've been called out time and time again for not going to demos, for when you are at demos, you're not really with the people, and yet you're sitting there saying we should be doing X, Y, and Z. That's fine. You can do that from anywhere, from Spain, but you promised the people that you wasn't going to desert them. And now you deserted them. It's under the name of family. They're thinking, well, my family's here, and my family now is going to be fucked because you was the person who was supposed to be doing this for me. So maybe it is as easy as that. I forgot where I was then.
And you know some of those guys as well.
Yeah, I do indeed. Top people, can I just say? Top
people, by the way, as well. Danny, how did it affect you? Because look, I know the answer to this.
Yes, Bluebell, 100%.
You've been pulled, detained and questioned by the counter-terrorism unit. Yeah. As a guy with a completely clean background, a family man, lovely kids, lovely wife, What are you feeling at this stage?
I'm going to say the officers themselves
Mystic, doing initials that I'd understand. What group?
were amazing. It was the law. I don't even think it's a law. It's the act that they use.
The establishment.
Well, it's the act, the actual, because it's the Counter-Terrorism 2000 or the Terrorism 2000 Act, I believe is the actual phrase. So that act, I believe, is intrusive.
But Danny, let me stop you there. I think the Counter-Terrorism Act should be intrusive for the right reasons when you're pulling up the right people.
But then,
I think my question.
Yeah, I know,
is,
Jupes.
how has it made you feel mentally, physically? What has it done to you? Because I know you've told me.
yeah,
I want
I've
you
been.
to tell the viewers.
I've had a serious problem with it since. Look, right, a lot of people are going to sit there and say, well, first hurdle, this just happens to you. Let's just remember our friend in prison was detained under that same act, right? And he's got a much, much bigger profile than I. Paul, I have only ever appeared on your channel. I've been on Liam Galvin's
And
channel.
if they're watching you, they're obviously watching me.
I would say they're watching you and then see me. You know, I'm the smaller cog. Listen, in this whole movement, it might look like, you know, I was arranging the stages and
That's another one, trying to push it across now. They saw you and then me. Whatever's going on is between them two, not between the movement. They're bringing the movement into it. Shouldn't be done.
the marches and this. I didn't arrange any of it, as you didn't. I know you didn't. We spoke about it on your channel to promote the event.
We promoted the event.
Yeah, promote the event. Okay, that was it. Okay, that was really the involvement. Okay.
So that's no reason to be pulling you in under a counter-terrorism act, is it? In my opinion.
I don't believe so. Obviously, someone has triggered something. Someone has said, have him when he comes through. It hasn't just happened like that, has it?
And the question is, why you and not me? I mean, they'd already pulled me 3 times.
Yeah.
But hadn't questioned me.
Yeah.
I
Maybe they start from the bottom.
I was in shock, Danny. And I mean, look, you know, I hope you don't mind me saying this. I know that this affected you
Mentally. Yeah.
emotionally,
Yeah.
physically.
Yeah. Well, I'm still not well. You might not be able to hear it in this
shock,
in this
you think,
interview.
Danny? Shock?
Well, you're just not ready for it, Paul. Right? Like I said to you just now, it's like turning left and there's a sledgehammer at you in the face because you're just not ready for that. You go through even if they'd put me in the pen for half an hour, I would have thought, right, this is what's happening to Paul. This is the establishment saying, you know, don't get too cocky. Don't get too cocky. Yeah. Right? And at that time, I left the driver Mark. He was told by the police kept in touch with my father. That was my biggest worry because my dad would have been stressed. He's very ill anyway, and I didn't want to send him over the edge and have a heart attack or something. So they stayed in touch with him, thankfully. They also stayed in touch with the driver, thankfully, and he waited 5 hours for me in the Costa Coffee, which he didn't need to do. So I have to thank Mark for that. But on the drive home, I just said to him, you know, this is going to change everything. I'm done. I don't want. I want to go back to the UK to visit my daughter for her birthday. Which it ruined, by the way, because I didn't get back home to my bed till about 6 in the morning. And then I didn't just go to bed that night.
I can tell the audience that you didn't sleep for 3 nights.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I didn't even see my daughter on the birthday. That was the following day. And
it affected your dad, didn't it?
It affected my dad because obviously he was up all night and he's got carers and stuff like that. So they were all sort of put off. And obviously I didn't get, I mean, we might as well touch on it. I said to the police, I said, look, I'm supposed to be seeing Tommy here. What's going on? They said, probably not the best idea. So I just thought, you know what? I'm not going to wave a red flag to the ball anymore. Yeah. So I spoke to you. You made the relevant calls, and it got back to Tommy that I had to cancel that for this reason, which, as I understand, he was very understanding about it. And look, right, at the end of the day, like I've said on my YouTube channel, which I've started recently, my YouTube channel isn't going to be about politics. It never was, even before any of this went on. It was always going to be, you know, the whole reason I set that up. But basically, I've not earned a penny out of YouTube. I've been on your channel now for 5 years because we used to talk a lot about watches, more so than we've ever.
People tend to forget this, Dave. I think we've only been around for a year.
Yeah, no, 5 years now. We've been on lives and bits and bobs and going to watch events and stuff like that. Yeah. Well before the politics even come into it. Yeah. So I've been on your YouTube channel for 5 years, and up until this day, I haven't never taken 1 penny from YouTube. Yeah. So we've been called grifters, and we've been called, which is ridiculous, but we've been called grifters, and we've had a bit of bad publicity because. And it was me that's decided to pull away.
Only from 1 or 2 people, Danny. I think people who have just got it in for us no matter what we say.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what we say, haters are going to hate.
Yeah, exactly that, Paul, right?
You made the decision to pull away, which I think everyone watching this, if they got even half a heart, are going to go, wow, bloody hell, Danny. Because let me tell you something, right? This guy sitting in front of me right now is one of the most wholesome, kind, nice, decent individuals that I've ever met in my life. I try and surround myself with nice, genuine people. It doesn't always work, Danny, does it? I mean, there's been people in the past that I thought were good people or friendly, and they've turned out to be wrong ones. What can you do about it?
How do you know?
Until
you give them
until
the
you know.
chance.
How do you know until you know?
Exactly that.
But, you know, you're a good guy, and I saw how it affected you, your dad, bless him, your kids, your current partner. And I'll be honest, Danny, I felt a tremendous sense of guilt myself, because they only come for you because you've been on my channel.
Well, that's the only reason I can think of, Paul. There's nothing lurking around.
And the question is, what have we ever done, Danny? This is the thing. What have we ever done? What have we...
Right, so before was a bit of a weird conversation. This bit of the whole bit is like you're having a conversation, you're waiting until the end. You're going to make a documentary. You're going to say, this is what happened the whole way through. So we're going to have interviews and see how you felt and blah, blah, blah. And it's trying to say, you know, are we good people? We're doing this. Why is this happening to us? Blah, 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 blah. Right. But again, it's not showing the end product. It's not showing what's happening. And again, it's a video that's being done when it doesn't need to be done, and it's opening up all of these things. Now you're distancing. Now it's like it's a surrender. Like, you know, someone said, you've got to say these points, mate. You've got to say these points. You've got to say da, and this is what we're going to do, right? And we're going to go on to the super chats and all that, because I'll do it now, actually. It doesn't matter. I do not care one bit. I tell people, if you can get money out of YouTube or whatever, and you can put it into what you're doing, then that's great. But what I don't like and what I haven't liked, it's your business. That's fine. I'm not in business. This isn't my business. YouTube is not my business. If I have business, I get more success when I'm out on the road, when I'm out in the protests, when I'm going up and down the country. We're going across to France, and that's going to be a great one. And Roy, you remember that thing that you said about the people getting together? It's going to happen because we're all going to be doing it over there. But anyway, so when I'm out on field, it's much better, right? This isn't my job. I want to save the country. I want to get our country back. It's not a hobby. It's not this, right? So when people are big on monetizing off of it, and they're pushing the wrong narrative, they're pushing reform. First of all, right? This is why I needed the extra videos. First of all, they touted Tommy to reform for some type of political gain. I'm not a fan of that. I was very strange when all of a sudden there was this pro-Nigel Farage turnaround, and me and Roy, we were one of the only two people in our sphere that were saying, nah, this is wrong. People are calling us all sorts. That was the first divide, right? That didn't work. Trying to go soft on things. Oh, we've got to be thankful for this. We've got to do this. We've got directing like you are the director, and now you're saying that you're just an NPC, right? I've been speaking to this person. I spoke to that politician. I spoke to this. I'm taking people abroad. I'm doing all this. People are funding money into that. Whilst you've got the money yourself, whilst the money is going in there, it's not going to help people who need it to do things. That's my only problem with it. If normal everyday folk that you can see are doing things with it, no problem at all. When it shouldn't be there, that's what I've got a problem. Yeah, and I'm going to say that. I don't have enough money to go about the country as I like to. 100%. I put my hands up to that. Paul says in his video today, maybe I should have worked harder. Maybe I should have made better business decisions when I was younger. But hang on a minute. I was partying hard, taking pills and having a good time when I was younger. No one knew what was going to go down the road. I didn't even care about Labour. Didn't really care too much about the Tories. I voted for them because it's what we do. We vote. Right, it's voluntary, but we still vote. We respect the people who have died for this vote. So I do. I didn't care about it. So maybe I should have worked harder, and then I could have been in a position where I could just bullshit on nationalism. No. This is my life, not livelihood. But this takes over the livelihood. Do you see what I mean? Give me $2,000 a month, yeah. Things will start moving. But no, you've got to wait. You've got to do your bits whilst you're watching all these people doing stuff. Many people will understand that on there. And if you don't, then it's not really that. But there is a problem, I believe, if people are putting their, I say hope is not a commodity. Reform do it all the time. Even now, we're going to be the best party. They didn't really do as well as they wanted to do up in Runcorn. They didn't really do, but that's going to sound like sour grapes. I'm a UKIP man. I know that potentially, if all the cards fall in the places at the time that they need to, it will be formidable. We're not backed by high rolling people, so we've got to fight from here. And when the high rolling people and when the people are diverting your attention or diverting you to just play nice and just be in a nice bubble and we'll do this. No, it's not good. It's not nice. It's not nice being taken over by tyrants like Starmer. And if you think that Reform did a good job by taking Starmer out, I can guarantee you this. Sadiq Khan will be installed as the next president, as the next prime minister. That would be, for me, that's a bit of a shoo-in. But we're going off topic. We're going to go off topic now anyway, because I don't think it's got anything else more to say. But I want it. Yeah, I think let's roll it.
We ever spoke about, what have we ever said that could even remotely warrant the attention of the counter-terrorist unit? I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's insanity.
Well,
and by the way, anyone watching out there, it's bloody scary.
Look, right, I just thought at the time when I left, I was driving. Well, I wasn't driving. Mark was driving me back to my father's house, and I just said, "Mark, this is me done, mate. I've never taken a penny out of this."
POB did do well, especially for the elderly. You know, they got good links, doing good stuff. Patriots of Britain. They did the children's march when was it? Last week? 2 weeks ago? Last week, I think. Good bunch of patriots there. Very, very good. So yeah, I'm with you on that, Shazza.
The grief it's caused. In fact, it's only ever cost us money, Paul, because I've had to fly back from Spain for bits and bobs, like if we hadn't done the marches, or even just flying back for the YouTube channel. Sometimes I've flown back and we just met up in Brighton and spoke about life. Yeah. But all I can say is, if I was earning £10 million a year out of YouTube, it wouldn't be enough to keep me in this now, because there's not enough money outside to go inside for. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think it's a good point you made there, Danny, because when you said there's not enough money outside to make you want to go inside, you haven't done anything.
No, I haven't. But there's been a lot of people that have been locked up recently. It's
for nothing.
For hurty words.
For hurty words.
Okay, right. Whatever reason, like I've said, this will be my last ever chat on any social media network about political stuff or whatever. My channel is going to be positive about Spain.
It's very important you mention that, Danny, because what we've done is, over the last year, and I need this to be very clear about this, because I think we both feel the same, because we speak about it a lot.
We do.
We're good friends. And by the way, I'm proud of you as a friend and as a
vice
person.
Versa.
Thank you, mate. We've built up a community.
Yeah.
What are they proud of? Tell me that. That is a very... No, we had the ding, 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 ding. That was another one that happened. Like, I say that to someone that they've done something that they didn't really want to do, or do you know what I mean? I'm proud you did that, mate. You was having a Barney with the other dickhead friend. Two dickheads having a Barney, and one of them are like, you know what, Danny, I'm gonna concede, and I'm gonna say to him, do you know what? Proud of you for that, boy. It's a very strange thing for him to say, but anyway, that was another bell.
It means a lot to me. Yeah, I know it means a lot to you as well. We've made a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to put my fingers down my throat and say, oh, we love you all and all this. Look, most of you we never met, but what we do have for you guys is a huge amount of respect, and I think there's a connection between us and a lot of people.
I agree.
That I want to keep.
Yeah,
I don't want to let our viewers go. Yeah. I don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
But I've made the decision to do the same as you.
Yeah.
Because Danny, as I said in my previous video, I'm coming up 64. This was getting to me.
Paul, can I just stop you there, right? I remember...
No, I'll stop you there. They want to keep the people. Do you remember what I just said before? It ties in. I didn't really realise that they divert the attention away to a holding cell. They've got people. They've moulded it. It's just there. Of course they want to keep them. Of course they do. And they talk about money. Oh, let's go to the other one after this, actually. Oh, it's 20 minutes though. Yeah, we'll see what Jeeps is doing after this as well. Jeeps, what are you doing?
Remember, at the last march that me and you both attended in February, we sat in the car, and you might have the video of this still on your phone or whatever. Maybe you could edit it when you edit it in. We sat in the back of Mark's car.
Yeah.
And you said, I think this is going to be my last one, mate. I'm just not feeling.
Can Mark please give me a DM? Because who is Mark? Keeps coming up. Why a name keep coming up?
In this.
And by the way, the driver's the driver. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's always one specific name. Why drawing attention to this person?
Now that was back in February. What happened to me was just after the first week of April. So it wasn't new. It was starting to affect, I think, both of us mentally. It was consuming you. I've had your family call me saying, calm him down a little bit.
I think the thing is, Danny, is I'm proud of what we've achieved. I think we've been good for people. I'm a carer. I care about people. I care about human beings. I value friendship and loyalty. I always have done in my life. And I hope we've brought something to the table. I don't want to let that go completely. But I go back to what I said pretty much at the start of the video, Danny, when that viewer said, you guys were at your depth. And I think maybe we were.
Maybe we didn't know what we were getting into. We just thought we was talking politics. I mean, bear in mind, Labour wasn't in when we started this. It was the Conservatives.
All I was just a granddad talking about the things that mean a lot to all of us, and you're just my mate who came on to give us
as a guest,
and you end up being questioned by the counter-terrorism unit.
How mad that's gone over a 12-month period. Like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm continuously going over old ground. I'm not moaning at the police officers that detained me. I'm moaning at the right that they had to detain me.
It's the powers that are coming down on all of us, and I think that is probably the scariest part of all. I mean, how many warnings do you need?
Exactly.
Before you say, well, look, maybe I've got.
Look, a lot of people might turn around and say.
So this is an hour long, right? And we've got to it. Was it just getting scared? This could have been done in 10 minutes. Listen, I come back to from Spain. I got arrested. Well, got took into the pen. Counter-terrorism. They said this to me. I said, blah, blah, blah. It was just talking about nationalist stuff. It was just talking about all this kind of stuff. I'm scared. I don't want to, I didn't pay for it. I didn't, this is what I thought it was going to be. I don't want to go any further. That's it. I'm done. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for everything you've done. Gone. That's it. How long did that take? 15 minutes. 15 minutes if you want to make it personal on that. This is an hour.
Oh, you dropped at the first hurdle. While they're sitting there on a Friday night having their fish and chips, watching Coronation Street, it's very easy to get on the keyboard and start slagging you off, me off, anyone else that stuck there. Jeff Taylor, Maya Tusi, Liam Tusk, anyone that's, we also remember that's their job, that's their business. Do you understand what I mean? That's their living.
In a lot of cases, that is their living. And by the way, whilst I talk about that, it's a good point. Another thing that I want to put to bed with a lot of people that, for some reason, worry about what someone else is earning. My advice to them would be, instead of spending time worrying about what someone else is earning, spend that time trying to earn money yourself. And whatever the YouTubers earn, in my opinion,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Paul,
it doesn't matter. He's right about that. But you see, again, it's how it's presented. It's how it's done, isn't it? If people want hope, if people want to... Because let's face it, right? Let's face it. Oh, what's going on here? 1 second.
I've known you 5 years. I haven't got a clue whether you earn 50 quid a month or £5 million a month, right? And it doesn't matter to me. That's your job. You don't know how much I earn out of my properties and my other business. You don't know because we don't ask each other that because it's nobody's business. Exactly that. And what you earn, you deserve.
The only time I would want to know your financial situation is if you need help.
Or we was going into a partnership, or we was going to do something else. Then you've got to sort of ask a few sort of more direct questions. Exactly that. But like I say, what you earn is your money, and it's look right. Why doesn't, as you just said, anyone can start up a YouTube channel? You just need a mobile phone.
Even in Den.
You download the YouTube app,
and you're away.
And away you go. Right? You might need to buy some more equipment. You might need to spend $5,000 on a bit better camera equipment and mics and bits and bobs. There you go. So set it up, choose your topic, start promoting it, and away you go. Right? And if someone's done that, very successfully, like Paul's channel. I mean,
listen, this is it. We've got AY audits in here, right? Big up. He's done great work, right? But I noticed, do you know what? Before I say it, AY, was you the one who did the hotel with the Just Eat people? Was that you? Because I get there's two of you. I get it mixed up. Just put in the channel if it was you or not, and then I can carry on. Because I don't. If it's not you, it doesn't matter.
even before the politic thing, he was successfully doing that with watches. Obviously, everything changed and watches sort of...
Yes, Roger, that's exactly right.
And bits and bobs. And at that stage, Paul decided to pivot his channel to talk about something else. How many times can you talk about a Rolex Submariner without people falling asleep? And it was getting to that stage, because I remember us talking about it.
Yeah.
I was on, I don't know how many, probably as many more watch videos than I've been on political videos.
More watch videos and political videos. Yeah. So, Danny, I think, look...
All right, so AOI Audits was the person with the thing, right? And this is to put it into perspective, right? With what Paul's saying about you know what people make their money on is whatever they do, right? And I say, well, the people going out there, AOI Audits goes out there every single time he's making a video. He's going into the firing line. He's going into these hotels, right, where they are doing illegal stuff with the illegals who have no care or for our rights of our laws or whatever, picking up such good footage, putting it out, is gone, right? So me personally, I say it should be monetized. As soon as it goes out, it should be monetized right back to that, but it gets ripped off and ripped off and ripped off. And then people like Paul's channel, people like on X, I've seen a big few people with that one, and you've called them up rightly as well. You called them up and said, this is a few times you've done this. These people are putting it out and then monetizing off the back of it. So do you know what I mean? So for me, I say yes. It's who cares what anyone makes, right? But it's got to go to the right people. That's it. People saying they don't con people, don't do this, that's right. Don't sell hope as commodity. Don't know what you're doing. Knowing that now I know this guy, his voice. When I see it ripped, I can then re-put it back through him. Because he's out on the streets. He's out going up and down the country. Truth Hurts 101 goes out up and down the country doing these things. We've got to play it right.
Like I said earlier on, you're never going to appease the haters. The haters are always going to hate. And for anyone that doesn't understand how this affected you, then I will ask you to put yourself in Danny's position. Let your partner be the one that's getting a phone call saying that you've been detained, etc. Let your children be.
Let me just stop you. Stopping you there.
Yeah.
I ended up in hospital, Paul. Yeah. So there you go. I haven't said that, and you know that, but I ended up in hospital over this. Yeah. So let that sink in. Do you think I'm going to, especially when you're not being paid, do you think I'm going to sit there and keep talking about it so I can be the person that gets shot each time? It ain't going to happen, mate.
And this is, you know, Danny, this is the funny part, is that this is what you're dealing with. You see, Danny is a tough guy. Danny is, I mean, he's a fighter, he's a former boxer. You don't mess around with Danny, right? But inside, he's like me.
It's because I'm right.
We're just genuine soft people, soft, nice natured.
Yeah.
We don't want to be involved in all that sort of nonsense.
I don't want the trouble.
And I said right from the very start, as soon as I saw something that I didn't like, I'm walking away. And seeing my friend, my dear friend, in hospital because of him being on my channel, that made me feel pretty bad, Danny, I've got to tell you.
It's taken its toll on me. Like I say, I went straight back from the UK. I didn't even know whether I was going to be allowed to be out of the UK, but I did make a phone call to the same team, and they assured me that you're free to travel, no problems. This is probably a good time to...
I had a point. I think I'm laying in bed and I got a text message from...
What's going on?
I was picking you up.
Yeah.
I'll let you take up.
Well, what happened there, man? What happened there?
Same goes for Danny.
And that's why it was such a big shock, Paul.
That's why it was such a big shock, Danny. And I think now...
I didn't get pulled over by the traffic police.
Talking about watches.
Yeah.
Which wasn't without its issues, as you know.
Yeah.
You know, people in the watches industry...
I don't know where he was. I don't know what's happened there.
All sorts of nonsense goes on. But in general, social media, it can be very, very toxic. Very toxic.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to lie about someone or exaggerate a story and for that to perpetuate. But I can only repeat what I just said earlier on. I will look this camera in the eye and say, look, guys, if you can show anything that I've ever done wrong in my life, prove it, show me the evidence. And you won't.
That there as well. I hate it when people do that. Maybe it's me. You say something wrong about me, I'm coming for you. You tell a lie about me, I'm coming for you straight away. People I know, they tell me, Danny, man, just let it lie. Just don't chase them. They do it all the time. I can't inside of me help that. But I think you've gone past the bit that I wanted to go at, because he keeps saying that he said, I want to know who these police people are that he's got contact with that's saying he's all right to leave the country or all right to come back. He's got these. This is where, again, ding, 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 ding. It doesn't make sense. I don't think can if I get bailed, can I then call the arresting officer? I don't think I can. I don't know. I don't really get arrested. I get arrested when I'm with my brother from another mother actual coverage when we turn into Palestinian protesters. That was quite a good day out. But yeah, so I don't really know about this story, but it seems it seems strange. And this is the thing, when you're doing these videos, again, I'm going over the same bit, and I think that's all it's got to be on this one. When you do these videos, make sure that they actually represent what it is, right? Because yeah, let's just quickly, I'm not going to go through it all.
Yeah, I'm scared of the authorities.
I'm not going to go through it all. I'm just going to go through the first bit, right?
Welcome back.
So on that one, yeah, that video, actually, let's do it properly. So with the video, we now can cover is that it was a nothing, right? It wasn't anything about Tommy Robinson, because nothing's happened in the background. Now you can take it or leave it. You can take it as it's I know Danny, and I believe what he says. Yeah. In the groups that I'm in, I've not heard nothing. There's no male words, and it's not the groups that they'd probably be in. So I'd probably hear something, because you generally talk. You know what I mean? You can generally say, "Oh, this person in the group they're not in." People talk, don't they? So that's that, right? It's not really from what he's done either. That's to do with the movement. So anybody who's a bit worried movement side, because people are getting arrested and going to jail for hurty words and thought crimes and things like that, then you're generally going to be okay. Let's not dumb down our side and go back to sleep and allow the government to do what they like. When I say the government, it's also got to be Reform UK, because these are the people who are the controlled opposition at the moment, who are tending to shepherd people the wrong way. So we don't know what was said when the counter-terrorism police did it. We know that Paul and Danny have just shut down their accounts. They don't want to do politics anymore, and they're coming out with these things. That doesn't mention anything. So people just personally just forget about it. Forget about these people. They don't care about you. There's no respect for the people who pinned their hopes onto them. It wasn't me. It wasn't most of the people in there, right? I know most of the people that are in the chat and whatnot. It wasn't probably any of us. We don't pin hope in that way. But there's 20,000 people, 10,000 people on their lives. They're watching them for a reason, because they're gaining something, and they've been dropped. It's the first hurdle was there. But again, they said at the start that maybe they got into things that are too much. Now, this is the second thing that come out today. Now, I wondered, it was 40 minutes before I went live. It just dropped. And it's very uncharacteristic. But what I'm going to do is, I don't know if Dupes is going to go live after this. And if it is Dupes, I can't chat on this one, because I'm on Streamlabs and it ain't working. I'm not on a StreamYard. So if you do go live, put the link in the description thing, and then we'll all go over onto that one. Because where are we going now? We're doing an hour and 34 at this moment in time, and yeah, I think I've said, and as I said, it wasn't against him, it wasn't against nothing. It was just I wanted to put them points out that it seems like it was something Tommy or the movement or nationalism or being patriotic or supporting the stream, supporting the X's. It was something like that. Because at some point they said that it's a terrible place. I think it was on part 1. Said X is full of bad discourse and whatnot. So yeah, let me just listen to this bit, right?
Particularly want to make, and really had no intentions of doing so. But my wife called me earlier and she said to me, Paul,
this is today. See, this is what I'm gone on for too long now. It's starting to lag somehow. I don't know why.
have you seen some of the things that people are saying about you on YouTube? I think you should have a look. And I said, well, I haven't, but I can probably guess because I've seen bits and pieces that friends have sent me, most of them laughing, saying, have you seen this rubbish that they're saying about you, Paul? And she said to me, are you going to respond to it? And I said, no, why should I respond to things that are total nonsense? Why should I give them any substance by replying to this bullshit? And by the way, guys, I never use bad language on my channel, but there might be a bit today. And I'll tell you why. Because what
Right, so this is it, yeah? I've said from 2 days ago, I'm doing this live now, yeah? I don't know what anyone else has said, and I know for a fact that it can't be my live. Because I've not said anything inflammatory or I've not done nothing. But something really come on. But we've seen Paul in that situation there, right? That we just had. He's nice with his mate. He's there. It's his birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday. All of these things, right? But you see the change in character.
Come to realise is that a few people out there
definitely free Vitali.
Meek and sort of mild-mannered approach to life and to my viewers as a sign of weakness, and they think they can fucking bully me. Well, let me tell you something, you got the wrong person. So today I am going to address some of the absolute bullshit that people are coming out with about me. And look, I've had this for years. This is nothing new to me. Right? I had it when I was talking about watches. So let's address some of the elephants in the room, right? And we'll get it straight once and for all. I will try and address everything, hopefully if I can remember it. But what I won't be doing is answering any of the trolls or the idiots or the naysayers or the troublemakers that want to get in the comment sections after. Fill your boots. Say what you like about me. And I tell you why you can say what you like about me, because I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because whatever you say...
Right, people, One Generation Media, I can't put anything, that's what's wrong about this. One Gen has put Jupiter's link on there, right? For... I think that's for a live. Click on that. It'll get to Dupe's channel. Click the live. I will be on there when I shut this down. So I've got 2 minutes on here. Then go across to that channel and we'll carry it on. And I know people that are on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, go to Jupiter affiliated and you will be able to join the conversation again. So let me just do, because it's interesting, and then hopefully Dupes can carry it on. Whoa. See what I'm saying? Look, how does that happen? How has that happened?
About me is not true. Why should I care about bullshit that isn't true? Why should I care about someone else's lies about me? Someone said to me the other day, oh, I've hit a nerve there, Thorpe, haven't I? Nah, you didn't hit a nerve. You get on me nerves. There's a difference. When you hit a nerve with someone, you hit a nerve when you bring up a subject that they're reluctant to talk about or that they're guilty of. That's hitting a nerve. Getting on someone's nerves is when you make up bullshit and that person thinks, I've had enough of this prick. Right? So there's a difference between striking a nerve and getting on someone's nerves. Right, let's start at the beginning.
Right, so that's that bit, right? So if we go on to about here, because the first bit just talks about his son and whatnot. So let's get back to about this one.
The bucket collection at the last event. A lot of people...
This one here, right? This one here. Now, this is Tommy's friend, apparently. There's been trolls going about the bucket collection, about how, I'm just admitting, about how they took this money and it was £42,000. In reality, It was a few grand. It was too many people there to be able to do it. There's card readers as well, other people. The BNP people are saying there's card readers and all this stuff. We've got all these trolls going around, all failed activists going around trying to get stuff, right? And this is the thing. And I can't believe that he did this today. And I was thinking, hang on a minute, it can't be because of this live. Sure, I'm not saying anything wrong. But then when he says this, it's absolutely crazy. It sickened me. And I don't care what people say.
People are trying their best to ask me or to associate me with that collection or where the money went. Now, I think the vast majority of people out there already know that I have nothing to do with Tommy's official team, with the finances, with Urban Scoop, with a single penny that went into any of those buckets. In fact, the only time I had anything to do with those buckets was when one or two people gave me cash at the event to put in the bucket, and thankfully I gave that money to my guys that were looking after me, security team, for them to put in the bucket.
So now he's saying that he took money to put in the bucket off of people, right? To put into the bucket, but he didn't put it into the bucket himself. He gave it to the security people to put it into the bucket. Well, what the hell? Why is this story happening? Why is it happening? Why are you not just saying, what the fuck's these trolls saying? 42 grand was taken, and he's making up some excuses to try and get himself away from the bucket collection. It's like no one actually cares until you make a situation like this, which now these trolls are going to be using that, and they're going to be saying, see, we told you. We told you there was something amiss because Paul Thorpe has now tried to get himself away from these buckets. Instead of just saying, do you know, if you want to say something, if you're going to say something, just say, listen, fuck off, like everyone else. As he says, he doesn't need to address anything to anyone. He doesn't need to do anything to anyone. Yet we've got 2 videos now that are very inconsistent and makes me question what is really going on. It's your mate. You just say what happened. It's got nothing to do with Tommy anyway. If you want to try and start saying about all this money and whatnot, it's got nothing to do with him. It's got nothing to do with Tommy. We've offered the family the money that was raised, or that they said they were raised. But no, this is just literally put fuel on the fire for absolutely no reason. But I know people will be talking about saying this is why he left. When you have one video that's very sketchy and you have another video that's very specific, trying to get yourself away from it, in the middle, people will make that assumption.
I didn't even put the money in the bucket myself. I gave it to someone else to put in the bucket, and I can prove it. So the accusation that I should somehow have to explain where that money went, not only is it ridiculous, it's fucking outrageous. It's an insult to my intelligence and to anyone that's stupid enough to listen to that bullshit. I've never, ever, ever been paid or have seen a penny from Tommy's team, from Urban Scoop, or indeed from anyone else, apart from the income that I get through my YouTube channel. That is it. And again, if anyone can prove otherwise, be my guest. Prove otherwise, and you would have me by the short and curlies. But I can say that with all confidence and look the camera straight in the eye, because I know that you cannot. Not unless you was to, really stretch the evilness and go and make something up, Photoshop something or whatever.
See? Does nothing in his favour. He's very angry. He's whatever. It shouldn't make a difference. He's not in the country. It shouldn't make a difference. But that, instead of just saying, Tommy doesn't do that for one. He doesn't rip people off. He doesn't need to get donations on the back of somebody else to try and do. He can just do it himself. If he wanted to rip people off, I think it would have been done a long time ago. But these trolls be trolls, and you know what? Let's not listen to them. I want to thank every single one of you on X, on YouTube, on Kick. I think I did get out in the end over there. And this is where we're going to be streaming. We're going to be streaming more on Rumble and on Kick because there is less censorship on there. But everyone that's over here, you've been magical. This is my opinion on what happened. This is my opinion on the thing. It makes the videos, they made more questions. I would like to see the bail sheet. I would like to know what they were spoken to with counterterrorism. I would like also as well, Paul said before he went to Spain that he had a motorbike that was unregistered. It was brand new. He got a pull from the police. And I didn't watch the whole video, I have to say, but people are saying it online that he's been pulled by the police and whatnot. What did they say to him? Because it was shortly after that he's gone to Spain and he's bought a new bike. To me, it doesn't make sense. It seems like last summer all over again. When your feet are close to the fire, you're going to feel a bit of heat, but who knows what it is. That's my opinion. This is how, there's not much more I can do. I wouldn't listen to it. I wouldn't be worried about it. Just keep doing what we're doing, people. We are not breaking any laws. Being a nationalist isn't illegal. Patriotism isn't racism. We are getting the black, white, unite the kingdom together as one. It's massive. These people are not leaders. They don't want to be leaders. They don't want anything to do with us. Fine. Let them do their things in Spain, wherever they're doing it. Who cares? Let's just leave it as that. All the answers I think that have been asked to me have been answered. I think I've put my opinion across. But I do want to stress, there's been no internal warfare like people will be saying. There's no things in regards to the bucket. I don't even know why the buckets came up, to be fair, because that sounds, if I was looking on it like an individual, I've got the trolls on one side and I've got, Paul on the other side, both saying near enough the same things, then I'm going to be like, oh, hang on a minute, there might be something in it. But it's literally nothing in what they're saying. The Sun did something because of the trolls. It's really out of hand, but it's Tommy. Tommy's not here to defend himself. He's in prison. They want to make him look bad. So, you shouldn't have said nothing about the buckets because there's nothing in it. Do you know what I mean? If there was something in it, if there's some substance in it, it would be okay, cool. Yeah, we can understand this. You're doing it for X, Y, and Z, and that's how much was done. Do you know what I mean? Because the whole bucket situation is about the £42,000, right? There was 100,000 people there. If they all put in £5, then it's going to be that. But there's so many different variables. There's so many different things that happened that day. But that's for other people to explain, and it has been explained. So it's job done. But now this has reopened the fire. They're going to be going for it. You're going to be hearing a lot of shit that's going on. So just, make your own mind up. Make your own minds up. But yeah, it makes no sense, to be honest. But anyway, it is what it is. They do what they do. We are not going to be arrested. I hope not anyway. We're not going to be arrested for leaving the country. So enjoy your holidays. Go out there. Go to Spain. Go to all these places. Turkey, Italy, wherever. Let's enjoy summer. Let's get some enjoyment out of this. Everyone else in the stream. Jupiter affiliated. Let's go to a thing now. The stream's in here somewhere. Can it be highlighted? And yeah, thank you all. Thank you all for watching. Anything else? Show me your bank details. What's all this? What's going on here? He's had a tug from the old right. So the lodger says he's had a tug for the old bill and let go after 4 hours, allegedly. Yeah, essentially that's what it was. But it's the way the video has been put across. It makes it more open than that. It makes it like you look into it and say, why wasn't that? You lie by omission, didn't you? So, you don't lie by admission. Audit, if you got a YouTube name, if you got your audit, and you Patrick's a bit of a troll, I think, it's going on here. I'm not really sure, but if you've got an audit in your name, he doesn't rate you. Do you know what? The auditors are so important. So important. I know there's some people out there that are shit cunts, and there's some, but normal orders are good because it puts the police on point and it makes us understand what our powers are, what sections to use, what to use. And also AOI audits has shown categorically, which should be taken to the Metropolitan Police, right, that hotels in London have people in there who are working for Just Eat. You wouldn't get that if you kept listening to the BBC News or ITV, or you went to these channels who didn't have audits in their name. So if you want to know what's going on, watch the audit channels and subscribe to AOI audits. Is really good. Anyway, people, excellent stream. Thank you, Mikey B. Mystic, he got pulled because he's got a brand new bike. Where's it gone now? It's quite common. Yeah, it is. But again, that was something else that was made. Oh, I got pulled over and I was said this, that and the other. Still on the DWP money. Who's on the DWP money? If you're a fraud, believe me, it will call you out and post it everywhere. Exactly. Shazaleeds, take care. One Gen, thank you for the... Oh, One Gen says Lodger's got the link. Clack onto that one. Bluebell, see you over at Jeeps. Lodger, One Gen, Den, Faith Beyond Fear, Real British Media. It's been a pleasure. Thank you ever so much. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about what's said. It seems to be all a much about nothing. And maybe later on we'll find out. Maybe later on there's a reason for it. Who knows? All we know is